Welcome, Aquarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot. I am recovering from quite an illness, and so forgive the raspy, horsey glitches in my voice. I am struggling to be as clear as I can, and we are still resonating to the blue full moon in Sagittarius of the end of May. So this energy, although not necessarily about the full moon, obviously incorporates that energy into it. And in general, I think we are trying to stabilize ourselves, our understanding of who and where we are right now, our potential to move forward in preparation for that, how we're moving forward thoughtfully. So your current energy is the Six of Cups. This is lovely energy. I haven't seen a lot of this recently. This feels to me very clearly like a redo, a do-over. Someone, an experience, a relationship, an opportunity is coming back into your life. It was an opportunity that brought you a lot of joy, a lot of playful joy, a lot of unstructured uh, um, leisure, and a way in which you gave a lot of pleasure to others without having an agenda or needing it to go or be anything other than sharing joy and pleasure together. So this is based on some very powerful memories of joy as much as success. It feels like the free operation of your gift in the world is something you're being asked to recall. You are revisiting. In the past, the Four of Swords describes a lot of healing work that you have been doing, a lot of expression of gratitude for really the most unlikely things, the challenges you face, the obstacles, the betrayals, the heartache that you've undergone that once filled your mental space with understanding, turning over, running through your thoughts, controlling you, the sense of being a victim, it wasn't fair, has actually evolved to a place where you understand the pattern that is yours, the responsibility you shared in any hurt that is yours. This represents a phenomenal maturation of energy and a greater spiritual understanding that these hardships, these betrayals, are part of making you who you are. And for that, you are very grateful. So this is telling me that this healing allowed you to release some of the pain, some of the suffering, some of the judgment, much of the forgiveness, not only for others, but for yourself in a series of situations that were very difficult, very challenging. And this actually afforded you some kind of a spiritual retreat, spiritual reset, so that you kind of recognize that this long road, this long, arduous road to where you are evolving, opened you up to recognizing this very meaningful experience in your life. In the future, the Four of Cups, I like the fours on either side because you're telling me you're really looking at your foundation. You're really adjusting your foundation to open you up to greater joy. And now that you are encountering as a part of your practice, those things that supported you, that love you, that give you the kind of value or recognize the value you bring in any situation is not it's not a slam dunk. So that you are understanding better and better that you are in a position to consider this redo, this revisit, this reconnection, and to understand how much you've changed instead of the world as a series of experiences that hurt you, that undermined you, that undercut you. Instead, you have worked diligently to transform those experiences into opportunities, to choose the support that doesn't undermine you, doesn't undercut you, through your own ability to change and recognize that by valuing your support, by understanding your value, you're now in a position to choose those things that do just that. And it's telling me that you have an opportunity, but it isn't, again, something that you're just automatically jumping into, remembering the good old times. Instead, you're really turning this over and saying, do I really want this now? Who was I then? Who have I become? And is this a match for me? Is this the thing that's been missing from my life? And so it feels like you're asking yourself a lot of questions about what you want. And that is a big shift for many of you who I believe are used to responding to the needs of others. And in that way, you are calibrating your own skill set as you have evolved, and recognizing that what you once wanted is perhaps different now. From the Oracle, I pulled the Judgment card. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Well, that seems relevant to something you are considering. And it's interesting because judgment often, in this context, is not the judgment we associate with the Judgment card and the Tarot. I think this is speaking about a greater, a more ingrained habit of behavior that has protected you in the past. So you've been judged, and the way you learn to detach yourself from particularly unpleasant feedback or experiences, negative criticism, is by judging others. This is particularly amplified by the fact that you truly gain information from realms of activity, existence that others can't access. So in many ways, your snap judgments, your detachment from the feelings of those, the compassion towards others who may be struggling, is part of the way you gather information, but it's also part of the way you've learned to protect yourself. And that feels to me like the very issue that can potentially dissolve this sense of judgment towards self. Can you entertain this new opportunity that is a recall from the past? Are you willing to redo? Can you engage with it in any productive way that can be simply a way of forgiving yourself or forgiving others? I do think in this general regard that judgment is something that we often don't realize requires our self-forgiveness. As much as we can forgive others, releasing ourselves from the sense of judgment and ill will towards others who may have hurt us, there's also this ability to, to forgive ourselves, so that we're really understanding that we are no longer that person and it's okay. That's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how we meet our challenges and take responsibility for the things that were mistakes, were errors. We are human. Something that I think we Saturn-ruled planets have a hard time really internalizing personally. We can forgive others, but it's very difficult for us to forgive ourselves. If this reading is resonating with you, Aquarius, please like this video, share it with others, subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for being here with me. I appreciate you. I'm going to clarify the Four of Swords in the past with the King of Cups. That's perfect. And the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, I like this. So this is showing me qualities in the past that were part of the way that you not only felt responsible and compassionate toward others, but felt the imperative to be productive, to protect, to nurture, to care, to make something happen. And so there is a way in which this particular opportunity is giving you a chance to recognize your own emotional maturity. And part of that is being vulnerable, understanding that being vulnerable means that you don't have to know all the answers, that you can have lots of great ideas for how to get work done, how to lay out a plan, how to be disciplined and persevere. But that's not your only talent, gift, or effort. That you're not responsible for everyone else's experience. You are responsible for your own. And this, particularly when it comes to the emotional realm, it appears as though this healing you've done has really helped you to tap into the ways that you have become softer, allowing yourself to be exposed at times in a safe place, allowing yourself to advise others without judgment in ways that they can be more productive, less judgmental, how they can help others to be more productive if this is concerning some collaborative effort. So I do feel like you recognize that you're not the same person you were at this time, particularly for many of you when you were quite young, but that you have a much softer lens through which you have viewed the experiences you've had in life that have opened you up to experiencing this opportunity, this relationship, this connection joyfully, to extract whatever pleasure can be extracted out of this connection for what it is, not for what it can be. And that is allowing you to be reflective about your own energy of need, of desire. Where is that truly? What do you truly want? The Six of is that Cups is the Devil, and the Four of Wands. Wow. It almost seems to me as though this may be either a major professional opportunity and or a conventional relationship. It feels conventional because of the presence of the devil, and it's telling me that there was a lot of pressure for you to conform in some way in the past, and you have taken that on. And this opportunity to redo something is allowing you to break through the status quo in some way, to reject, to be rebellious, to allow yourself to define your relationships, your opportunities, your growth in the way that suits you and the others involved in this. So there is no big brother who has power over the way that you love, the way that you grow, the way that you define that, and truly celebrate that. This feels like a celebration of some sort. So I'm feeling that you are victorious and that you've learned to channel your productivity in a way that gives you a sense of doing it your way, accomplishing something your way. And allowing yourself to release or channel your passions towards the building of something, a partnership, a community, an effort, a growth that celebrates growth as a value in and of itself, expansion as necessary for providing this kind of service to your community, to your family, to the world that you want to, as you define it. And your resources are considerable. I'm going to clarify the Four of Cups in the present with the Three of Wands and one more. Oops. The Five of Wands, and take the Tower. So you're definitely focused on the next step, and I love that. What's the action you're going to take towards this opportunity as you consider it? And you're very well aware that you're moving into a new lifestyle. There's something here about breaking up with the past, breaking up with the expectations of others, not allowing what others expect or have pressured you to do is in no way in inclining you to conform. In fact, just the opposite. You see this break, this rebellion, this self-definition as part of moving into a new lifestyle, a lifestyle that allows you to determine what it is you want. And from the picture that I'm seeing here of the present moment, this is something you've had to work really hard to break from. What somebody else wanted you to do, expected you to do, even demanded that you do. For some of you, you are breaking with a powerful, even moneyed background. Others of you are using your resources from your background, an inheritance perhaps, or some kind of trust, to move in a brand new direction that focuses more on your individual desire for love, for healing, for pleasure. I'm curious now about some of your backgrounds. It feels to me like you are from some kind of an elite background. And of course, the reverse is true. There are many of you that were expected to follow a fairly conventional, normative lifestyle, to accrue a conventional family life, and that in some ways your ability to break with that has moved you into a place of greater personal satisfaction, greater recognition of your value to a whole new aspect of the world, a whole new community that you were excluded from in the past. But you're achieving this by being you. And despite the Tower's association with other signs, I always think of the Tower, along with the Wheel of Fortune, as revolutionary, potentially. The unpredictability of disruptive, unplanned events. And in that way, it very much resonates with your intuitive character, your need, your action, your purpose in this world, to break apart structures we've come to rely on, but that no longer serve a purpose. I'm going to draw an outcome card, and that is the King of Swords. I like this. In some ways, you're really leaning on your best abilities. Your best abilities are those of pursuing the truth, being curious, opening up the conversation to others who may not have your access to new ideas, but sincerely putting them out to others in a way that invites their participation. So whatever you're considering, whatever opportunity is on offer, is a reconnection of some sort, you are wisely holding back your judgment and instead partnering, it feels like, for some kind of new truth, the pursuit of some kind of new justice in the world. And this can be a justice with regard to an individual relationship. That's important. It's also about justice for its relevance to your truth and to the truths of others. And your ability to facilitate, to entertain that, to talk about it, to insert or advocate for a dialogue to open up new possibilities and alternatives in the world. I am going to clarify this with a couple of cards. I don't know what that is, but I'll find out. Okay, so these two popped up. And the Queen of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. Wow. Yeah, I do see you moving in a very new direction, one that really is pointed towards personal happiness, personal joy, personal fulfillment, and not just a thing or a desire or an achievement, but a process that understands that there's more about your own self-compassion and forgiveness that allows you to expose feelings of doubt, of uncertainty, but to make those available to others in a way that allows them to participate towards a solution and thus to become overall more productive. I'm going to finish up this reading with language of, I'll pull this, the tiger lily. Security is the key word. Choose the safe harbor for now. How interesting. Yeah, I do feel you pulling away from what others desire and towards what would satisfy you, an opportunity to vet or engage with the possibility of a reconnection, a do-over. Aware that you're in a different place in your life now that allows you to focus on personal fulfillment, satisfaction. So this is beautiful. This is lovely energy. I hope this has been helpful to you, Aquarius. Until next time, namaste.